The Arabiqa school program brings Arabic music, dance, and culture to the young audiences of the United States. The goal is to give them something to see other than all the negative or scary or dehumanizing things they might see on television or the news, such as terrorism and the revolutions and the war on terror and the clash of civilizations. This is a time for young students in schools to experience something fun. Music, dance, costumes, language, all the benevolent and interesting creative things of the Arab world. Something that they can relate to, something that humanizes the Arabic people in their eyes. Because the young people of this country are the ones who will, in the future, dictate the relations between these two cultures, the Arab world and America. Throughout my life, I've gotten to perform in amazing concerts all over the world, in Taipei and Bogota and all of these great places with big stages and lights and hundreds of people paying tickets to come and see, and that was always on a weekend at night, 9 p.m. for example. And then I found myself 9 a.m. on a weekday in a gymnasium in Ohio or in Maine, and I enjoyed it so much because the children were the best audience ever, and they didn't pay to come and see me. Their teachers brought them there. So after doing that one or two more times, I decided to turn it into a long-term project to help the young people get a chance to see this music and to hear this music and watch the dancing and see someone from this part of the culture. I've been to schools all over the United States. I've gone to the richest private schools, I've been to the inner cities and juvenile prisons. Every single demographic has in some way appreciated the music and appreciated the dancing. I have to try different things to keep them engaged. Maybe a school is more rowdy, or maybe they're very quiet and they don't respond right away. It's a great challenge for me, but I'm determined not to just show Arabic culture to an elite group or to a deprived group. I want everyone in the United States to experience it.
This is K sound. This is R, this is E, and this is M. So it goes like this, Karim.
I feel that many people in the United States have this clash of civilizations that they're living by, that there's this world and that world and the Islamic world and the Western world and all of these battles and conflicts. But I don't believe there is a conflict person to person. So my message is to humanize each side. And I want people, and young people especially in the United States, to think of the Arabs and the people in the Muslim world as humans, and for them to enjoy the music and the dancing as something that they can relate to. And that way we would have an easier chance of dialogue in the future and to appreciate each other. This is the biggest challenge I could ever face, to keep the program lively and exciting for restless young people, but also keep it orderly so I can actually give my message and do the performances well. I want to keep them calm the entire time and keep them respectful so that they learn how to appreciate a performance, and so that I don't have to struggle to give the presentation. So by nature, I am exciting them. The drums are loud and I am an animated performer and I'm doing semi-acrobatics. But at the same time, I need them to be calm and pay attention. I studied very specific techniques for keeping the audience engaged, and I also found ways to calm them down after I excite them. So it's a very, very specific balance I want to achieve, but I certainly do not want a boring performance.
It's called a kufiya, okay? And the kufiya is a black and white scarf. I'm having it here on my hip. You can turn it here.
I came to America from Egypt when I was a teenager, and I went to high school and college in the United States and became a U.S. citizen. And I'm American, but I've always kept a connection with my culture, and I've gone back multiple times, dozens and dozens of times in my teenage and adult life, keep the connection with my family and also to train for music and dance at the same time. So I consider myself part of two cultures, an Arab American, and I do not feel any conflict. I don't feel that I need to trade one for the other. I don't feel that they impede each other. I think that in the United States now there are a lot of young people who are exactly in my position, balancing multiple cultures in their home life and their school life. And other children who are monocultural are also interacting with them. So I feel that my example is a great, blend of civilizations for young people to emulate and also to learn from. I may never know if I am discriminated against or not. It might be subtle, it might be blunt. I go through my life as if I am allowed to do what I want in a constructive way that helps society. There is a lot of fear and animosity towards Arabs and Muslims in the United States, but I cannot let that stop me and I cannot be paranoid about it. I am here to share my culture with people and to alleviate that fear. I know that many people already have decided about Arab and Muslim culture ahead of time before they meet me or see this school presentation. And I don't blame them. Many people have a lot of propaganda, or I've seen a lot of negative things. Maybe they have a relative who's in the army or in the Iraq war, or somebody who is affected by 9/11. So I can't be upset at anybody who's already made up their mind. But at the same time, I want to give them this avenue to see the human side of the Arab world and a chance to make up their mind a second time through a fun interaction with the art and music. I love seeing their reactions when they witness an instrument that looks like it can get one sound maximum, that it looks like the simplest thing in the world, and then they see all the possible sounds that come out of it through the technique that we learn in the Arab world. So when they see the riq, the tambourine, and they see how I play it upright and all of these different sounds, or the finger cymbals, they're amazed at how vast these simple instruments are. But there are parallels in American culture too. We have tambourines, we have lute instruments, we have cymbals, we have sticks and canes in both the Arab world and the United States. So I think the greatest reaction, or the most exciting reaction for me, is to see a young person, a child, respond to this seemingly simple instrument after they see all of this wonderful multitude of sounds and actions that come from it. The surprise on their face keeps me motivated to go to 100 more schools. Many times I have done the Arabiqa presentation in front of an entire school assembly that goes from K through 12, so even kindergarten all the way through high school. And this is a challenge. I don't want to patronize the older students, and I don't want to talk over the heads of the younger students. So I find a way to engage everybody at the same time. Maybe a certain commentary is for the older people, and then some other, more dynamic, funky moments for the young kids. But it's a challenge for me to keep everybody engaged at the same time. I am ready to present to all age groups. I enjoy the high schools for the intellectual side, and for me to keep everything seeming current to their own subcultures. I love the lower schools for their raw enthusiasm and excitement, and I love the challenge of the middle schools for engaging them in their transformative years and to get them to think that I'm worth listening to and that this is deserving of their time. The biggest challenge is when I have all of them together in an assembly and I need to engage their levels simultaneously without talking down or up to anyone. I'm showing multiple instruments and styles of dance, plus costume items and language exercises, such as spelling each name of each instrument and pronouncing it, or learning how to tie the kufiya on the head or the neck, or showing the riq or the duf or the sagat or the buzuk or the mijwiz or the asaya, and all the different techniques used to create the sounds. Or finally, these communal exercise where we all get together and do the debki line stomping dance. All of these things are special individual moments throughout the Arabiqa program. The reaction to the instruments varies from extreme excitement to just awestruck. And again, these instruments seem simple. I always like to take a vote at the end and see which instrument was preferred by the most students. Is it the buzuk? Is it the sagat? Is it the cane, the asaya that used for the dance? And I always find that the students are raising their hands to multiple instruments or multiple things. And that's fine with me. I'm happy that they're excited. Personally, I love the riq, the tambourine is my favorite.
So let's say the whole word. 1, 2, 3.
I am not a naive person. I don't believe that we can play a few songs and then everybody is going to have peace and end their conflicts. But what I do believe is that familiarity helps people appreciate each other. So when I go to all these schools around the United States, my goal is for them to become familiar humor and lightheartedness. Then they will see me as a human and perhaps other people from the Arab world as a human too. And this is the experience I want. After this, it will be much easier to be comfortable with each other and to have a dialogue in the future. So the first goal is familiarity and humanizing each other. I really want to cause and inspire excitement in each of these performances. Sometimes it's difficult, it's early in the morning, or the kids just came back from vacation, or everybody is restless, and sometimes the teachers are tired and they don't help with the discipline, or sometimes it's just I'm in a gymnasium and everything is echoing. But I always give my absolute best to engage the students. If it's from the dynamism of a single instrument, or from a joke I can tell, or a way to get them involved through clapping, through doing the line dance together, stomping, then I feel that I've added a dimension to their day and also helped learn something about an unfamiliar group of people.
Thank you very much, everybody.
I would love to visit every school in America, every community, and share Arabic music, dance, and culture. My goal would be to create this familiarity which will then alleviate any fear or animosity between the two cultures. So through music, through dance, costumes, language lessons, these impactful 40 to 60-minute presentations, I really feel I can make a difference here in the school systems of the United States.